The internet increasingly becoming a major aspect of our life. And like all aspects of our life, it becomes touched by the law. And that brings us to this week's case. It involves a situation in which we had a consumer affairs organization that set up a website. They allowed this website to be used by any consumer that wanted to post their comments regarding their consumer experiences. It involves a Chevrolet dealership. The dealership saw a number of comments being put on this site that they did not like. They said basically they were libelous comments, they were not true, and they wanted the site to take those comments off. The site said, we didn't make the comments, we are just an intermediary here. Well, the dealership was very unhappy, sued the internet site, went to federal court. The arguments were pretty straightforward. The web guys said, we, at this juncture in time, were doing nothing other than building a site people could make comments. They argued that under an act that Congress passed, the Communications Decency Act, that they would not be responsible unless they made the comments themselves. Well, the dealership said, wait, you know these kind of comments are being made. We've told you they're not true. We think that by virtue of that, you should no longer be posting them. Well, the federal court looked at this, looked at the law, and said, bottom line, the website guys are correct. And they are not responsible as long as they're simply making the comments. And you, dealership, if you don't like these comments, you need to go to the people who made those comments, and you can sue them. Well, generally, let's face the facts, in real life, real insight into the law here. In real life, you don't sue people unless you think there's an opportunity to collect some money, if in fact it's found that they did something wrong. And the average individual generally is not in a situation where they're going to be able to pay damages for libel. But on the other side of the coin, they sometimes are, and it's a real hassle if you have to answer a lawsuit, particularly in federal court. So, long story short, where this wound up is that the website was not responsible for those comments that were made as long as they did not make them. The dealership was only left with the opportunity to sue the people who made those comments. We bring you this as we bring you cases every week so that you understand how the law works. I'm mentioning every week. We had a case similar to this some time ago. It was under the same law, and the reason we're mentioning this again is this gives you a sense of how the courts are deciding these cases, because sometimes some courts will look at it a little differently than will another court. So we're seeing that at this point in time, the courts are upholding this Communications Decency Act and finding that the web guys that put up those sites, as long as they don't make the comments, are not going to be responsible. Okay, I'm David Allen.